Knowing when to use the word affect with an A or affect with an E can be hard, so let's learn the difference with lots of examples and more than 50 collocations.
Hi, and welcome to the Espresso English podcast, where you can improve your English in just a few minutes a day. My name is Shayna, and I'm the teacher at Espresso English. Make sure to visit the website espressoenglish.net, where you can get online courses and ebooks that will help you learn English even faster. Let's get started with today's lesson.
Affect with an A and affect with an E are often mixed up, even by native English speakers, because of their similar spellings and pronunciation. They essentially sound the same in fast-spoken English. They both sound like affect. Today you're going to learn the difference clearly, and you'll also learn a number of collocations, words that are commonly used together with affect and affect. Before I get started, I wanted to remind you to come join my email list so that you can get all the newest Espresso English tips and find out about our sales on courses that we do pretty much every month. Visit espressoenglish.net/500phrases or click the link in the show notes so you can join the email list and enjoy your free download of an ebook, 500 Real English Phrases to Improve Your Speaking. All right, we'll start with affect with an A. Affect is mainly used as a verb, meaning the action of influencing something else or causing it to change. We have affect or affects in the present tense, affecting in continuous tenses, and affected in the past tense. Again, affect with an A is for the action of influencing something else or causing it to change. Here are some examples. The canceled flight affected our travel plans. The new policy will affect the entire company. Let's see how this new advertising campaign affects sales. The weeds in the garden are affecting the growth of the flowers. You can see that in each of these sentences, one thing is influencing another or causing it to change. Let's look at a few more examples. When you're in a relationship, you need to think about how your actions affect your partner. The rainy weather affected our outdoor plans, so we stayed indoors. The global pandemic significantly affected the economy. The decisions you made today will affect your future. Climate change is starting to affect wildlife habitats around the world. The company's decision to downsize will affect many employees. This disease can affect the lungs. Affect starting with A is a verb. It's for the action of causing change. Now let's look at affect starting with an E. The word affect starting with an E can be used as both a noun and a verb. Affect with an E is more commonly used as a noun, referring to the result or consequence of an action. For example, the noise had a negative effect on my concentration. That's a negative result. I'm starting to see the effects of my new diet. I've lost 5 pounds. The effects meaning the results. Here are more example sentences with the word affect starting with an E used as a noun to mean results. We need to consider the long-term effects of taking this medication. The new marketing strategy had a dramatic effect on sales. Our community is still suffering from the devastating effects of the earthquake last year. The artist used bright colors to achieve the desired effect in her painting. The teacher's lecture had little effect on the students. Their bad behavior continued. Music can have a calming effect on anxious animals. Scientists are studying the effects of pollution on the river wildlife. So that was affect with an E used as a noun, meaning result, and that's the more common use. When affect with an E is used as a verb, that means to make something happen. It's usually affect change, affect reform, etc. For example, the senator's hard work has affected several reforms in the government. That means his work made the reforms happen. But this use of affect with an E as a verb is less common, and it's a little more formal. In everyday English, we typically use affect with an E as a noun, as in the previous examples. So now let's learn some collocations, some common combinations of words with affect with an A and affect with an E. We'll begin with affect starting with A. Collocations with affect with an A often involve adverbs of degree telling us how much one thing affected another. So if something affected another thing only a little, we can say slightly affect, barely affect, or hardly affect. For example, the marketing campaign didn't work very well. It barely affected sales. And on the opposite end, if it affects something a lot, we have greatly affect, radically affect, significantly affect something very much, or deeply or profoundly affect. These often have the connotation of affecting someone's emotions. Here are some examples. Moving to a much bigger and more expensive house will greatly affect our budget. Losing his mother at such a young age profoundly affected his childhood. A few more collocations with affect starting with A include clearly affect when the influence is obvious, directly or indirectly affect, adversely affect, that's when the influence is negative, seriously or severely affect, that's used when the influence is large and often negative, likely to or unlikely to affect. Here are some examples. I'm always happy in the summer and depressed in the winter. The weather clearly affects my mood. The disease severely affected his vision, and he needed surgery to correct it. Switching jobs so often is likely to affect your reputation in the industry. Let's turn our attention to collocations with affect starting with E, and there are many more collocations. We have adjectives describing how big the change or result is. So for a large result, we can say a dramatic effect, a powerful effect, a profound effect, a significant effect, a strong effect, or a far-reaching effect. And for a small result, we can say a modest effect, a minimal effect, a marginal effect, or a negligible effect. That means there was almost no impact or result. We also have words telling us when the result is clear and easy to see, like a visible effect, a noticeable effect, a discernible effect, and a measurable effect. These next adjectives tell us about how long the result or impact lasts, a short-term effect and a long-term effect. A residual effect, that means one that lasts some time after the event. The next series of adjectives are used for results that are bad. We have an adverse, harmful, ill, or detrimental effect, a destructive or damaging effect, a catastrophic or devastating effect. Those are extremely bad. A traumatic effect, and an undesirable or unfortunate effect. And on the other side, for results that are good, we have the desired effect, a beneficial effect, a positive effect, a magical effect, a calming or soothing effect, meaning it makes you calm or it eases pain or decreases discomfort. A curative, restorative, or therapeutic effect. These mean it heals. We also have words telling us about the probability that a result will happen. A possible or potential effect. This means maybe it will happen. A likely or probable effect. This means it probably will happen. And a predictable effect. This means it was easy to guess or know that it would happen. And some additional adjectives that are common collocations with effect include a side effect. That's not the main one, but an additional one. Special effects, those are techniques used in producing movies or TV that are done by computers. A startling, striking, or stunning effect. These all mean that the result is surprising. A subtle effect. This means the result is present but a little hard to notice. The overall effect, meaning the general effect. Personal effects are items that you usually keep on your body, like a watch, jewelry, keys, a wallet, or purse. A domino effect means that one thing causes another, which causes another, which causes another, etc. And a ripple effect is similar, meaning results that continue to spread. Those were a lot of adjective collocations with effect starting with E, but we also have common collocations with verbs. So when something causes a result, we use these verbs: bring about, have, or produce an effect. And when someone is impacted by a result, we use these verbs: feel, experience, or suffer from an effect. That last one, suffer from, is negative. Scientists often assess, determine, estimate, examine, measure, or study the effects of one thing on another. If we want to make a result bigger, we would compound, maximize, or magnify the effect. If we want to make a result smaller, we would try to cushion, lessen, mitigate, reduce, or soften the effect. Another set of verbs is used when we take action to produce the opposite result: counter, counteract, offset, or cancel out the effect. We can talk about how long an effect lasts, meaning continues in time, and when it stops, the effect wears off. All right, so now you know when to use effect starting with A and effect starting with E, as well as some of their common collocations. I covered a lot today, so make sure to click the link to the lesson text that I will put in the show notes so you can review all of the expressions and try to write your own example sentences with affect and effect using the correct word. Remember, affect with an A is a verb, an action word, talking about the process of influencing or changing something. And effect starting with E is usually used as a noun, talking about the result. Again, in everyday speech, affect and effect are essentially pronounced the same. The English language has lots of confusing words like these, and you can learn a lot more of them in my ebook, 600 Plus Confusing English Words Explained. Visit espressoenglish.net, click on Courses, and you'll find at the bottom the 600 Plus Confusing English Words Explained ebook, which comes with text and audio. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll talk to you next time.
If you want more great English lessons, visit espressoenglish.net, where you can sign up by email to receive a free ebook with 500 plus real English phrases. You'll also find online courses to help you improve your English fast, even if you don't have much time to study. Keep practicing your English, and I hope you have a wonderful day.